What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Seibelmania Friends podcast. And our last guest from the Seibelmania Friends podcast is our first guest back on the Seibelmania Friends podcast. I'm talking about the one and only Mr. Double J, Jonathan Jones. Jonathan, how you doing, man?
Hey, not too bad, man. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, good to have you back, man. Been a while since we done Seibelmania and Friends. And
Right.
you were the first one that wanted to do it, so I appreciate you. So before we get this conversation underway, ladies and gentlemen, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed, and if you don't hit that subscribe button, Rikishi, he will come to your house and give you the stink face. Now, that all being said, pop open a cold one, just like this, and let's get started. And there is a lot to cover this week in the world of professional wrestling, John. Let's talk about news that broke today on Wednesday, October 27th, 2021.
Yeah. It's a bombshell, man.
It was Ring of Honor has decided to go on hiatus.
Yeah. But, don't believe what they're telling you in the press release. I mean, I think they're done. I think you're going to see them get bought out. I mean, when you release all the wrestlers from their contracts, that does not mean you're doing a reboot, in my opinion.
No, it doesn't.
I find it amazing that Sinclair doesn't have the cash, or they're probably just not interested anymore. Is my take on it. But,
let me pull up the statement that they made. As a matter of fact, because their statement was fairly interesting.
Now they were talking about wanting to restart in April, and I'm like, well, if you're releasing everybody, who are you going to restart with?
Exactly.
Because I'm telling you, people like Jay Lethal and the Blue, that Tony Khan's got to be slobbering at the mouth, especially to go get tonight
Vince,
get the Briscoes.
Tony Khan is slobbering at the mouth, and Vince is looking at it like, whatever, we'll get him.
Well, you got Jay Lethal, you got the Briscoes. I mean, to me, the Briscoes, the most underrated, unbelievable tag team in wrestling in my mind.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And you bring them in, and you immediately bolster the AEW tag division. I'm afraid if they went to WWE, man, Vince would find some way to screw it.
I heard somewhere that they couldn't go to WWE because of a criminal record that one of those two guys has that blocks that from happening. So I could see.
Right.
I would love to see him go to AEW and face off with Santana and Ortiz.
Oh, it'd be fantastic, man.
Yeah.
The feuds that you could have with those two guys,
it's incredible.
And you have to take too. They were great as singles wrestlers too, because Jay was when he Ring of Honor World Champion.
I believe so. I think one of them was ROH champion. Yeah.
Right.
And speaking of ROH, I mean, it really sucks that they're doing this because, like you said, they're basically shutting down shop. And you take a look at all the great talents that they have produced over the years. The CM Punks, the Bryan Danielsons, the Christopher Daniels, the Samoa Joes, the AJ Styles. I mean, just
think of it this way, too. Okay, so you got Sinclair Broadcasting, which is actually a pretty big company. All right, so you tell me how Ring of Honor folds and Impact is still going.
I think Sinclair Broadcast had a big issue last year.
Right.
Like somebody hacked them or something like that. I'm not 100% sure on that, but.
Right. Now, I know that their shows have been kind of non-existent. I mean, Impact has actually had more of a pretty decent showing in a smaller setting. I don't know if you saw this last pay-per-view, Bound for Glory. It actually was pretty damn good. With Moose winning he won the Impact World Championship in kind of a crazy fashion. But but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talent in Ring of Honor. And in the next few days, you're going to probably see a lot of guys flocking toward AEW or the WWE. I guess it just depends.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be buried, go to the WWE. If you don't, go to AEW. But again, I don't want Tony Khan just buying up a whole bunch more people.
No, he needs to flush out the roster he has already, in my opinion.
Right.
By the way, if you hear any squeaking going on, that is my dog playing with his chew toy. So that's the squeaking that you are hearing. And
well, I have a little Shih Tzu Chihuahua mix, and his name's Toby. And late at night, he gets what we call the zoomies, and he wants to play. He starts to bark, and he runs everywhere.
Come here, boy. It's okay. My dog, he is a Doberman Shepherd mix.
Right.
And he's a very active dog. He's the kind of dog that needs to go on WALKS.
Oh, absolutely.
I won't say the word, but he needs to go on those things like twice a day, and we're not very good on that. My dad tries to be. He tries to take him regularly for those things. I can't right now because of my ankle.
Yeah.
But my dad takes him like for nightly walks. But tonight he didn't get to go because my dad went to go play golf with some buddies. So the dog was stuck at home. And my mom, she was doing stuff for her YouTube channel. Hey, by the way, shout out to my mom. My mom's YouTube channel, Crafty Author. Go follow her. She makes great content. She does.
What does she do?
She does quilting and like arts and crafts.
Oh, cool.
And embroideries and all that kind of stuff. And she's actually pretty successful. She has, as of today, October 27th, 2021, she has, hold up, she's got 28.8 thousand subscribers.
Wow.
So she's getting up there as far as successful is concerned. Yeah, so like I said, go check out my mom's YouTube channel. Shout out to the Crafty Author. I recommend that if you want to learn some great arts and crafts and quilting. And she's just a great person to be on YouTube. She's got a great personality for that stuff.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Back to this ROH story. I have a statement from ROH if you'd like to hear it.
Sure.
So it says, quote, "Throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe. And despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine Ring of Honor." I'm sorry, I said that all wrong. Let me read that whole thing over again. The way I read that was incorrect. "The year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH." That's how you're supposed to say that. I made it like a question mark. Apologize. "ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize ROH. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans." Dave Meltzer of F4W Online noted, and by the way, anything Dave Meltzer has, anything he says, don't listen to it, pretty much. He says, hang on. Because I know that multiple sources have reported this. So that's why I believe it. But if it was just Dave Meltzer reporting it, I probably wouldn't believe it. But Dave Meltzer noted that ROH released everyone from contracts, and Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com wrote the following. He says, quote, based on who I've spoken with, ROH releases are effective at the end of the year. If a contract goes beyond that, they're paid until March 31st.
Oh, wow, okay.
And Brian Alvarez, also of F4W Online, wrote the following, and he's about as credible as Dave Meltzer. ROH will do tapings in November and then run Final Battle on pay-per-view. Nobody's contract will be renewed, but everyone under contract will finish out the year. They are, however, able to work anywhere they want immediately. We are told rumors Sinclair canceled the show. We are told rumors that Sinclair canceled the show are not true. So, there you go. That's what's going on with ROH.
Well, that's interesting because, if you're releasing them from all their contracts, how in the world, okay, so my thing is, if ROH was going to stay as a company, you would have kept them together, you'd have maybe sent them on a sabbatical for a while, you're reinventing the product, and then, that's completely confusing because, okay, so if you're releasing everyone from their contract, then you're going to have no talent for this supposed show they're going to have in April.
Right. I think they're going out of business, which...
That's what I think. I think that they're probably trying to sell the company.
They could be.
The talent and all their library and stuff. And, if I was Tony Khan, I'd buy it. I'd get it before Vince got it. I would definitely do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, what would Tony do with it?
Well, the library, I think, the thing with Tony, I think...
No, I hate saying that.
He's surrounded by good people. He just has to listen to them.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is he's not going to listen.
So I think that him acquiring that library, I honestly think he should try to keep a lot of stuff out of the hands of the WWE. I don't like that the WWE has all these libraries of all these companies, and they've just got this stranglehold on such an unbelievable treasure trove of wrestling.
Yes.
I think it's tainted when you've got, world class and stuff like that stuck in their vault, man. It's just a shame because that's good wrestling. The old Attitude Era stuff.
I think it's all on Peacock. No.
Yeah. The whole W Network stuff, it was a complete failure.
It was. I will say though, I do enjoy Peacock, the app. Not just for the WWE content.
I know.
I watch it for all of my Chicago shows and the Law and Order shows.
Right. We looked into now. I did it for a short time because my son likes the the Paw Patrol, and so we watched the Paw Patrol movie off of it.
How old's your son?
He's 6. My youngest.
Okay. I got a 4-year-old nephew, and he got to go see Paw Patrol with my parents.
Right.
So we're in that Paw Patrol stage
I have
too.
2 boys. I have a boy that's 18. He's playing basketball. Right. Oh no, he loves Paw Patrol.
Yeah, my nephew's the same way.
Yeah, but back to Ring of Honor. There's a whole slew of talent that's ready to be taken.
Hey, let's take a look at that talent. Let's take a look at some of that talent.
Oh man.
Let's see if I can find that. Okay, here we go. So let's take a look at some of their talent and see, and just talk about where they could end up. We got Adam Brooks. Is he? I don't know. I'm not really familiar with some of these names. So, are you familiar with that name?
I've heard of him. Mostly, the Briscoes, Jay Lethal. I'm trying to think. Who has not poached from them? I'm trying to think. I know. Rick Swann was there, but then Rick Swann went to Impact.
There's a name on this roster that a lot of people talk about. I don't really understand why. I've seen him, and I don't get the gimmick. Danhausen.
Yeah, he's an interesting gimmick, and I know a lot of people at AEW are clamoring for them to go get him. He would be an interesting character in more of a freak show kind of setting. I don't know if you know that a lot of wrestling companies, they've had kind of these little freak or hybrid groups, kind of like when Raven had his group and Kevin Sullivan had his group of, and there's been, like the Brood and all that with WWE, Edge and Gangrel and all those guys. I think he would make a really kooky leader of, you could maybe like a cult following or whatever in a group. I think would be neat. And I'd make him a heel group. But he's a very interesting character. The guy can speak. He's a hell of a promo.
Well, just looking at this roster, I could think I've seen at least two people you could put him with, Dutch and Brody King, because they have that look of like the cult like look. I don't know.
Because I would if I brought Danhausen to AEW, I would pair him with Darby, and I would turn Darby heel. So you could have a heel Darby, and then this sounds crazy, a heel Sting who's never been heel.
Wait. Hang on. Sting was a heel briefly in TNA wrestling.
Oh, was he really?
I think he was a heel. I think he was briefly, and by briefly I mean for like a day, a heel in WCW.
Well, I know that they say that when he was the Crow Sting during NWO time that he was a heel. But
no, not that. Like, I'm talking WCW 99, 2000-ish.
Was this when he fought Vampiro, had that feud with Vampiro?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I just think that'd be kind of interesting if you could have Danhausen come in. He'd be kind of like the guy that manipulates them.
Okay, yeah. I can see that.
And I'm thinking more or less, because they're all, they're the face paint wearers, and I think they look cool with their face paint and stuff. And I think it'd be an interesting pairing.
Jay Lethal and Kenny King, I think, would be really good in WWE.
I love Jay Lethal. I don't know if you've ever watched his parody of Macho Man and Ric Flair.
Oh my God.
They're just unreal. There's a great segment on YouTube. You'll have to look it up from TNA when he was Ric Flair.
The woo-off. Oh, I know what you're talking about. They're going off on the... I've seen that a dozen times, and it's hilarious every single time. Yes, sir.
But he's an unbelievable wrestler in the ring, and he can promo his ass off. So, and I can't figure out why he's wanted to stay buried in ROH unless that's just what he likes. So,
What about EC3? Do you see him going back to WWE or Impact?
If he goes to WWE, he's going to get buried. It's crazy, too, because, he's a muscle guy. Vince likes muscle guys. I think it's his promo skill is the problem. He's not a very good speaker, but I think if he came to AEW, some of these guys can work with his promo work. I know a lot of people, they shit on Cody. But I know one of the things in his nightmare factor that they work on is the ability to speak. And I think that if he went there, they could work with him and tweak his character a little bit. He might be a whole lot better. AEW would be the more, I think, better career move for him.
Yeah.
And reinventing himself, because if he goes to WWE, he's just going to get buried. So that's what they do. They bury talent. So, I don't know. He's a great talent. I liked him. I liked him when he was at TNA.
Wait. Danhausen debuted in pro wrestling in 1993?
Really? He's been around that long?
That's what it says. It says his pro debut was 1993 on his ROH bio.
Oh, wow. I didn't know. He's been at ROH that long?
No, I don't think so, because he wasn't... Because ROH came out in 2002.
Okay.
Let's go to his Wikipedia page. Wait.
Well, I know '93. We're talking territory days too, though. So I mean, there could have been,
Whoa. This is bullshit. I don't know where this bio came from. This is bullshit. Because on Wikipedia, it says he was born August 17th, 1980, which would have made him 13 in '93.
Yeah, that's bogus.
And yeah. And he debuted in 2013. So.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Roxy is the very first, and I guess she'll be the only, Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I would love to see WWE pick her up and bring her to NXT. I think she would be great on that show.
Who's their current champion right now? Well, who was the world champion for a Ring of Honor?
The women or the men?
The men.
1 second. Open up their champion. Bandito.
I'm not familiar with him.
Yeah. He defeated Rush on July 11, 2021. And the rankings for the championship, Brody King was number 1 contender, it looks like. Followed by Vincent at number 2. Alex Zane at number 3. Jonathan Gresham at number 4. And EC3 topped the top 5.
Well, I'll tell you, Ring of Honor has taken a hit in the last year when it comes to talent. They were loaded with a lot of really good people, and they got poached, basically. A lot of them left, man. When Samoa Joe was there, Adam Cole, Monk was there. I mean, there was a whole, Danielson. They lost a lot of people.
I'm glad you didn't mention Kenny Omega.
Yeah. Right.
I'm so glad you didn't mention him as one of the greats.
I like Kenny Omega, though. I'm sorry, but I'm one of the ones that, I like his style in the ring. Now, I don't necessarily like the fact that he wrestles a sex doll and a little girl. I think that's stupid.
Okay.
I think he should, but I like his style in the ring, man.
I just can't get into his. I've watched his matches. I just can't get into his work.
Right.
It's like, yo, come on, man. But switching gears here from Ring of Honor, we'll see what happens with Ring of Honor, and I'll keep the fans updated here on this channel. Let's talk about. So we talked on Monday about this, and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, we did record an episode on Monday, and we ended up having to can it because there was no audio. So we're having to redo this a couple of days later. So thank you for being patient with me there, man. I appreciate that. I apologize. I was so upset about that. I was like, dude, you've got to be kidding me. How was I so stupid not to make sure that the audio was. I was so mad at myself. So thank you for being patient and understanding. But we did talk on Monday. We'll talk about it here. Charlotte and Becky Lynch. You said on Monday, I believe, if I remember correctly, you said you thought that this was a work.
Yeah. Some of it I do, some of it I don't. I do believe that Charlotte's causing problems behind the scenes. I'm wondering if she will stay or if she'll go. I don't know.
What would you do if you were her?
Well, I think Charlotte is going to wind up at AEW regardless. Her dad will eventually be there. Her husband's there. I just don't see her staying there. And I think after a while, the Charlotte product in WWE is going to get boring. She really, other than Rhea Ripley and Becky, who else do they really have?
Bianca,
we're talking about
Bayley.
But we're talking true women wrestlers. Let's be fair. Charlotte is probably, other than Rhea Ripley, really classically trained wrestling women. These other girls aren't necessarily that, or they don't have that
what about
ability.
Bailey and Sasha?
They're decent. I mean, they're just not. I just don't think they're on a level of a Charlotte or a Rhea Ripley or I mean, you have to look and you have to kind of back up a little bit. You look at the history of women's wrestling and you look at those classic women wrestlers and you tell me how many like that do you see right now?
How many what?
How many that you see like that you see that are these classic women wrestlers. Now, AEW doesn't have a lot of them either.
No.
I don't necessarily consider...
I think it's something missing in the wrestling business.
I think that Jade Cargill will be a good one. She's green right now. I think a little word. She's going to be really good.
Britt Baker.
A lot of people don't like the Japanese wrestlers, but I mean, most of them have been trained properly. And they're not, a little flashy, I'm pretty kind of, but, I just think that Charlotte's losing interest with the fact that there's not a whole lot of people she can work with there, I mean, they shouldn't have two shows to begin with, in my opinion.
No.
Because I think a feud between her and Becky would draw so much money, it wouldn't be funny. I mean, it would be fantastic. There's some of the girls I might would flip heel. I don't know. Creatively, there could be some other things done, but they've kind of muddled her storyline up.
I want to see Liv get pushed to the top.
Yeah.
Liv and Zelina. I would love to see at the top of these cards. That would be cool.
Some of these senior ones, they need to start pushing the younger talent up. They need to start making them look good, even if it means letting the younger person go over. But again, Vince isn't going to let that happen.
They kind of did that with Nikki Cross, but...
Right. And they just ended it too fast,
Yeah. And I'll be the first to admit that I was not a fan of her winning the championship in that gimmick. I don't like that superhero gimmick type.
No.
Okay.
But that's a Vince gimmick though. He likes that stupid.
Oh sure. He does.
I don't like what they did to Bianca Belair. I don't like that she had such a short run.
No, that was stupid that they did. That was really stupid.
If you were gonna put that belt on Becky, you could have built that up. You could have had a great heel turn with Becky and drew some heat, had some matches or some moshes or whatever, and built that up to like a WrestleMania. It would have been fantastic.
Absolutely. But you gotta build it up. They kind of just did it suddenly, and then they expected the fans just to boo her.
And AEW is bad about this too. They'll, with all this stuff with Cody and Malachi, they're doing these programs too fast. It's like, don't shoot your wad all at one time.
Yeah.
Work some programs in. Build this stuff up. Draw the audience in, and you'll have them. Once you have them hooked, then
that's what wrestling is needing is long-term storylines.
Right.
But people have short-term patience.
Right.
and I'm probably one of those fans that has short-term patience. So as much as I want to see those long-term plans, it's like, okay, just give it to me already. It's been long enough.
How old were you? How old were you during the Raw and the Nitro? Were you young enough or old enough for the Monday Night Wars?
No, I was 4 years old in 1997.
All right. Let me just tell you, that was probably the greatest era of television wrestling that I can personally remember, because when you're sitting on your couch and you're flipping back and forth between both shows, and both shows are lit. And I mean, we're talking about on fire, because you had the NWO with WCW, and you had that whole thing going on with them.
Right.
And then you had such good stuff going on with the Attitude Era and Raw.
And Stone Cold, the rise of Stone Cold.
I mean, when you're watching, like especially with me with NWO, I cannot tell you how much I hated Hulk Hogan when he flipped. When they flipped him at Bash at the Beach. Because I was a big Hulk Hogan fan. I ain't gonna lie. I was a Hulkamaniac. I loved him because here in Georgia, I only got to see him sporadically when they would do a Saturday Night's Main Event. We didn't get all that WWF stuff.
No.
But when they flipped him, I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we need to see. But then you saw how they drew out the whole NWO angle. That angle lasted an entire calendar year.
Okay.
And then it culminated with
I remember that. I remember it was.
But I mean,
it lasted a whole calendar year.
They would piss you off. I mean, it was so. I mean, now they kind of went a little overboard because they turned me. Personally, they turned too many people over the NWO.
NWO lasted longer than a year.
Yeah, well, the culmination of Hogan having to lose his belt at Starrcade.
Oh, I got you. I'm sorry.
Now, it continued, and then NWO fractured, and they became like the red and the black, and,
the Wolfpack,
versus Hulk, and
that
kind of.
And the Wolfpack had one of the coolest themes of all time. Don't turn your back on the Wolfpack. I love that theme for some reason.
Oh, it was great. But I mean, every week, you're looking to see, oh God, is Sting going to be there? Or you see him in the, what's going to happen? Who's going to get beat up? I mean, it was that kind of feeling.
And then he would appear in the rafters.
I just don't get that now. Now, I'll tell you, when Punk came out in his debut at AEW, I've never felt like that. That's the first time I've had in myself, had that kind of wrestling feel that I have missed for over 10 years.
Dude. So you want to hear something funny? I was that guy when I heard that CM Punk was going to debut in AEW. I was that guy that was like, he's not coming to AEW, guys. He's not coming. My
wife and my daughter thought that I was a complete retard when I just went apeshit when he came out. Man, yeah. I was just like,
it was funny because I was watching AEW. I'm like, okay, he's not coming out, right? And then they're chanting at the start of the show, CM Punk, CM Punk, CM Punk. I'm like, they're going to fucking milk this thing for what it's worth, right? They're going to make them wait till the end of the night, right?
And
they're going to make the fan. And they did the first thing. They blew their load right away. I'm like, really?
But you have to know that was the greatest pop in wrestling history.
I got goosebumps. But when the song hit, my immediate response was, it's MJF.
Because it hit, and you heard the crowd, but then when he stepped out, the crowd got even louder.
Yeah.
That's what hit me, and I'm just like, holy shit. I'm just...
Yeah, that's funny, because like I said, this theme song hit, and immediately my mind goes to, it ain't CM Punk, it's going to be some heel using this song as cheap heat. And, then he comes out, and I see him, I'm like, oh my God. And I got goosebumps.
See, for me, like, I'm bringing this back around a little bit, but for me, wrestling is about that feel you get when you watch a match. And it's hard to describe with some people because you just know when you're seeing something special. And it's been sad that we just haven't had that. I mean, once in a blue moon with WWE, I'd have a match that I like to see, and it hit home, and I loved it. But then the rest of the show would be a complete disappointment. And I'm not saying that AEW does not have, they've got some stupid gimmicks they're doing and some stuff they got to work out, and they need to either put that on Dark or whatever, but that's what I've been missing. I've been missing those oh shit moments that put goosebumps on my back or on my arms or whatever, that's what I'm looking for. Well, I like that with Roman, because I get that feel with Roman. I think Roman Reigns currently right now, next to him and MJF, but they're two of the greatest heels. I think I give MJF the edge when it comes to promo ability. But it's that kind of stuff that I'm missing, Have
you seen some of the Twitter exchange between Baron Corbin and MJF on Twitter?
Yeah. And seeing Baron needs to be careful because MJF will eat him alive.
No. Baron Corbin tweeted something out, like that WWE tweeted out. He just retweeted something that they said. Like, build your top 5 Twitter, like your top... Build your Survivor Series team, like your top Survivor Series team, right? And so Baron Corbin listed every single one of... Or he listed all 4 of his gimmicks, right? Constable Corbin, King Corbin, Baron Corbin. There was something else, I think.
Right.
Let me see if I can find this. It was hilarious. And Constable, King Corbin, Baron Corbin, GM Corbin. Wait, what was it? Hold on a second.
Well, you know, this last gimmick they had with him where he was broke, I thought was kind of funny.
I'm going to see if I can find this, because this was hilarious. So anyways, I'm going to try to find this tweet. Where is this tweet at?
Hey, on a side note, I got you a good feud that you would probably like.
Good what?
I got you a good feud that I think would be great. That would put a lot of money. You know, I think it would draw a lot of fans. I think it would be really great.
Yeah.
If Steen decides to leave WWE and go to AEW, I would immediately put him up against John Moxley in a program. Can you imagine Steen and Moxley going at it?
Who? Moxley and who?
John Moxley and Kevin Steen.
Oh my God. Dude, that would be awesome.
I mean, just think, and you really, God, I can't even, you could either say it'd be heel versus heel, or I don't know. Right now, I don't know if they're trying to turn Moxley heel right now, but I can just think of so many dang matches or programs you could have with them that would just really be good.
So, back to that Baron Corbin, I would love to see Moxley and Steen. That would be a brutal feud. They would kill each other. Back to that Baron Corbin tweet. He tweeted out, so WWE tweeted out, assemble the Ultimate Survivor Series team using any WWE superstars, past and present. Right? Baron Corbin retweets this and he gives his list. Number 1, Baron Corbin. Number 2, Constable Corbin. 3, King Corbin. And number 4 is Happy Corbin. Right? And MJF, he commented, he replied to that tweet. MJF said, hey, don't forget the lone wolf Baron Corbin, bro. So I was like, damn, that's savage.
Right?
But yeah. Let's switch gears from wrestling for a minute here. I actually got nothing to say. Crap. I forgot what I was going to say.
I got a little topic to throw at you.
What's up?
And I was discussing this with a friend of mine the other day about in the current state of wrestling right now. Have you noticed how many injuries you're seeing now and how many botches are occurring?
A ton.
It's kind of like the whole thing with Lance Archer the other night, and I've just noticed. If you really sit down and watch some of these matches, you look and you see these missed spots, and it's so prevalent now. I mean, this is WWE included, where I don't know if they're just not working these matches out ahead of time like they're supposed to. But they're missing marks, they're missing cues. I don't know because normally in a match, usually the most senior guy is the one that's calling the match. So, like, if CM Punk is fighting somebody, normally he's calling the match, he's calling the spot.
Yeah.
Because I know in the Cody Malachi Black match, there were so many missed spots, man, it just wasn't funny.
If it's two veterans, like the case of Cena versus CM Punk, when CM Punk was working as a heel, he would work with John Cena, and they would wrestle in the ring, and John Cena would, I guess, in the match, he would call moves like drop down hip toss, whatever, and he did that with CM Punk once, and Punk grabbed him in a headlock, and he goes, "Hey, who's calling the shots?" And Cena, I guess, said, "You are, because you're the bad guy. So go ahead, you call the spots, I'll listen," and they only had that one issue, and Punk led them to Magic after that.
Well, I'm just seeing too much of it. You're seeing too many guys are getting hurt.
Lance Archer should not be doing moonsaults.
The whole thing with Lance Archer, he tweeted out that he was fine, and I'm glad he's okay. But I even tweeted back to him, and I said, well, why are you doing moonsaults to even begin with as big as you are? I said, that's retarded.
Yes.
I understand it's cool, but, you're a big dude.
Save it for the big shows.
You're going to break yourself in half. So, some things just weren't meant for these bigger guys. But I'm not a fan of them using the side of the ring where it's a lot harder. You're seeing pile drivers on the side of the ring.
I watched this episode of Ridiculousness today. Yeah. And it was with David Arquette. Yeah, I love that show. And they were talking about wrestling moves. They were showing like a clip, like their clip montage of wrestling moves. Right. And one of these guys, one of these guys threw his opponent into a pole. Like the pole was like right in front of him, and I think the guy was trying to throw him into the crowd, but the pole was right fucking there, and you can clearly see the pole. And he just throws him right into the pole. It was brutal. It looked brutal. and one of the guys on the show, Stilo, he goes, "That's attempted murder." And you're talking about injuries. Did you watch NXT last night?
No, I didn't see it. I didn't get a chance to see it last night. I haven't reported.
Oh, should I say this then, or do you want me to say it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. They had a stairway. They had a tables, ladders, and scares match, I guess.
Right.
Women's tag team titles.
I think I've heard about this one, yeah.
It was Io Shirai and Zoe Stark versus Toxic Attraction versus Indy Hartwell and whatever her friend's name is. And in the match, Io Shirai, she took a bump off of the ladder onto a ladder bridge on the outside, and the ladder bridge never broke, so she bounced off of that.
Oh, man.
So, so you were mentioning all these injuries, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there was just one that occurred just last night. But then she also tweeted out this morning, hey, she's okay, she's not hurt, so.
Well, my thing is, again, I hate to bring up the old days, because I know we're in a newer brand or a newer product of wrestling. See, they would go to the arenas and stuff on a day where there was no one there.
Yeah.
And they would work their match out. So they would basically kind of go over, most of the high spots or whatever, work a plan, and then follow that plan. Well, they would devise a plan, especially when Dusty had a match. He would have something set up, he would run them through it, and then so when they actually got them into the actual arena for the event, they already in their mind had how the match was going to go. And then usually, like, Dusty would call the match. He would,
Yeah, because he was the veteran.
Right. They don't do this now. It's like it's on the fly now. Or I know some instructions are given to the referee as the match is going. Like if they're wanting them to hurry it up or whatever. Some spots or whatever, But they're just being, I think, just way too... I don't know if it's a lack of training or whatever. It makes me wonder what this, that training grounds that the WWE have. I mean, what are they really doing? I mean, what are they really teaching these people? I know.
Or are they even teaching them?
Right. I know that Cody's group, and I've seen some stuff on Cody's group where they break a lot of stuff down. Like QT Marshall, he's the one who actually runs it. But Ricky Starks is his head coach, and he's a really good in-ring performer, real promo and everything. And I know they actually have promo class, and they run through spot work. So I mean, a lot of the younger talent or the newer kids are going on that AEW Dark, which is on YouTube.
Yeah.
And where they get to kind of work out the kinks in their game before they get moved up.
Is AEW Dark Elevation, is that sort of like the NXT?
I think so. I mean, it might even be a little below NXT. I think it's for a lot of these people that there's more opportunity to be a wrestler in AEW and actually work your way up than you can with the WWE. Because I think that AEW is there for pro wrestling, and WWE is for sports entertainment. They're not trying to push a wrestling product.
And by the way, that's not a knock on WWE that they're more sports entertainment. That's not a knock. That's what they choose to be. So when we say that they're more sports entertainment than wrestling, it's not as we're using it as an insult. I promise.
And if that's what you want to watch, cool. Because I'm a fan of both products. I want both products to do well. I just don't like one group slamming the other. If each group has a problem, then we have to point them out equally.
Exactly.
At the same time, we have to praise them equally when they do something good.
Preach it, brother.
There's a lot of, like I said, it's taken with the whole Roman Reigns thing. I love what they're doing with him. I think his gimmick has finally blossomed.
Yeah.
But he needs to remember it took him forever to get to where he's at. So when he's running his mouth about being the best in the business, I'm like, well, hold on just a minute now. You've only been good for like a minute now, so let's let this let's let this simmer and cook for a little bit before you start patting yourself on the back.
Yeah.
I mean, when there's no one there for you to wrestle anymore, so what do you do?
Yeah. One other topic I wanted to discuss, it's not wrestling related, but
sure.
You said you used to listen to rap?
I've listened to some.
Well, actually, there were two things I was going to mention. One thing I was going to mention was, I think on YouTube, there should be, okay, so on YouTube, there's a bunch of reaction channels that react to rap music. And there's one guy that I really enjoy that does this. He breaks down, his name is Knox Hill. Everybody go check out Knox Hill on YouTube. He's dope. And he makes his own music, which is really cool. But he'll break down, not just what the lyrics are, but he will break down the way that the beat drops and the way that he'll break down rhyme schemes and beats and all this kind of stuff. And syllables and all that stuff. I think there needs to be a reaction channel that does that for wrestling. Breaks down the move and why it makes sense or why it doesn't make sense.
Well, it's kind of funny though, but see, you know who would hate that idea? Jim Cornette. Because and I know that wrestling is kind of past, what he's all about kayfabe, and he's all about, he hates the fact that the business has been put out there for people to figure out. Because
but he said it himself, so he's a hypocrite.
Part of me agrees with him, part of me doesn't, because I've grown up, I've been in both eras. I've been in the era where, I used to go to the wrestling matches at my local high school. There wasn't pay-per-view. If you wanted to go see a classic match that was going to be put on, you had to go to, for me, it was Dominate in Atlanta. It wasn't televised. You had to go to the matches to see the big matches, whether it was Dusty Rhodes versus Nikita Koloff or whatever. That's how But a lot of the backstage stuff, a lot of people didn't know that Ric Flair was the booker. Ric Flair was a booker for NWA for a long time. They put the belt on. They put the belt on certain people so they could push the product of the company, and that's how you got the championship. one of the main reasons that Jake the Snake Roberts was never a WWF champion is because they didn't trust him because of his damn drug abuse. Because, a lot of people wonder why this person or that person didn't carry a belt.
Yeah.
Usually because of outside things.
Wait, that's why? That's why he was never champion? I just thought it was...
That's why he was never champion, because he was a junkie. He couldn't be trusted, and Vince didn't want him to make the belt look bad, because Jake would have been a hell of a heel champion.
Oh, absolutely.
Because he's one of my favorite heel characters of all time. No one has a more devastating DDT than Jake.
No, and that move gets played out way too much nowadays.
And you never saw anybody kick out of Jake's move, ever.
No.
Then that's another thing, that's another topic for another day, where, finishing moves aren't finishing moves anymore. But there was an era and there was a time where in wrestling there wasn't what they call the finisher. Some guys didn't have them, some guys did. And some finishers were weak, some were decent. Ox Baker had the hard punch, and the Rock and Roll Express had this double drop kick that him and Robert, they did together. It was kind of silly, but
it worked.
It did. But again, Jim, he just with the business. I like that idea though about where you explain how they do things and stuff like that.
Yeah, breaking down the move. Yeah.
Jim would have a heart attack, but
which is going to bring us to, I think, our final topic of the night.
Sure.
I'm not sure how much rap you listen to, so I'll just ask this question: who would you say is the best rapper of all time?
Oh gosh, I grew up with like Run DMC and Kurtis Blow and Vanilla Ice and guys like that. I'm not more of a gosh.
Would you say Eminem is a top MC?
Oh, easily, because 8 Mile is a fantastic movie, and I love that whole soundtrack.
Absolutely, that soundtrack is beautiful.
For me, it's either him or it's LL Cool J. I don't know if I'm gonna, because I'm not a fan of Dre, and I wasn't a fan of some of these others.
You weren't a fan of NWA?
No, not at all.
Really?
Well, yeah. I like all kinds of music, but I'm a heavy metal guy.
Okay. So you're more
right
like Metallica.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But now we've had a resurgence in metal music. Now we have all these groups that are coming out of Japan that are all female heavy metal bands that are just incredible.
Oh, K-pop.
Well, that's Korean pop. This is J-Rock, what we're talking about.
J-Rock.
There's Bandmade, there's Love Bites, there's Baby Metal. It's incredible.
I've heard of Baby Metal. I've never listened to them, but I've heard of them.
You need to listen to Love Bites. It's fantastic. These ladies are incredible.
Okay.
When they can play harder than a Metallica or a Megadeth. They could play them off the stage easily.
What's their name?
They're called Love Bites.
Love Bites. I might have to check them out.
Yeah.
I've heard of...
I'll send you one of their videos to listen to.
I've heard of whatever J-Rock band did you mention?
There's Bandmade, which is a good one.
Okay.
And Baby Metal. Baby Metal it's these 3 girls.
I've heard of Baby Metal. That's the one I've heard of.
But Bandmade and Love Bites, they're complete female bands. So, every instrument is a female.
Okay.
Love Bites has a guitarist that's not only a lead guitarist, and she's fantastic, but she's also classically trained on the piano, so she does both in their concerts.
Oh.
But the riffs that they play are just fucking incredible. I'm 52 years old, and I'm geeking out about a bunch of young girls that are bringing metal back again.
That's a little creepy.
I know you. I know that. Oh no, well, they're very attractive too. So
Hey.
That's a bonus. So but no, I like all
I don't.
Heavy metal.
I enjoy all music as well. I don't. I like rap. I like rock. I like pop. I don't listen to a lot of like foreign music, like K-pop or J-rock or whatever. I don't listen to all that stuff, but like I'll name you a few people I have on my music list. I have artists. I have artists ranging from like Aaron Carter to Eminem to Smash Mouth to Blink 182 to Michelle Branch to Hobson to Tupac. Tupac has to be on your list of goats in rap music.
Now I've heard of Hobson. Tupac was good.
Tupac, he's one of the best.
Oh, yeah,
and Hobson,
no
Hobson is really underrated in my opinion.
Right. But being me at my age, it was I was into the old school rappers.
Yeah,
I remember when Run DMC was formed. I remember when Vanilla Ice had he was a one hit wonder for a year. It was halfway decent.
Tupac,
the Beastie Boys,
Biggie,
of course Tupac, Biggie, or Big
Ice-T.
Smalls. Ice-T is a fantastic one. The guy that's the producer of Power, I can't remember his name.
50 Cent?
50 Cent. I like him. And I like his theme from Power.
I think Eminem and Dr. Dre discovered 50 Cent, so...
Right, I like them a lot. Who's the dude, the real skinny black guy with the braces?
With the what?
I can't think of it. He had the real skinny black guy with the braces.
The Grill?
And he's a rapper, and he's real frail. They say he does a lot of the some of those rappers, they do the cold medicine stuff,
Yeah.
They drink this shit, and he's into that kind of stuff. But
Lil Jon?
Maybe that's him.
Does he have cornrows?
Yeah. He was on a Ridiculousness one time.
It was Lil Jon then. Was he the one that goes, yeah?
I think so, yeah.
If that was the guy, then that was Lil Jon.
That wore the clock around his neck.
Oh no, that's Flavor Flav.
Yeah,
that's Flavor Flav. He was also one of those older rappers.
But I think it's Lil Jon. I like Pitbull. Pitbull's pretty cool.
Pitbull is Mr. Worldwide. Okay. A couple of rappers you should check out that you've never heard of. I bet. Clip Monster, Tom McDonald, and Crypt.
I've heard of Tom McDonald.
Tom McDonald's really good. I enjoy. Tom McDonald's one of those guys where either you're gonna like him or you're not. There's no in between. I enjoy a lot of his music. He's really good. But lately his music has been like all political, and I mean, for his music, he does a lot of political songs, and that's cool and everything. But lately it's been all political, and it's just like, let's step away from that for a second.
Right. Sure.
Because like what he'll do is he'll switch it up. Like he'll go political one week, and then like the next week he'll try something completely different, and then the next week try something completely different, and then the next week he'll go back to political. But lately it's just been political. And I'm like,
see, for me, the whole thing about rap music, that for me, it's either you like it or you don't. To me, it's not synonymous with rock music, because you can listen to many eras of rock music and you can kind of get a flow. And if you're not really invested into rap, then you really don't know the whole, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, to me, rap has been more of a younger generation. It's more the millennial kind of generation.
Yeah.
I grew up with all old school rock and roll, and like I said, early rap and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then I mentioned Clip Monster. You should check out Clip because, well, number one, I'm going to be doing an interview with that guy soon. And number two, I don't know when. I asked him months ago. He said, yeah. And we've never been able to set up a time, so whatever. But in a lot of his songs, he does wrestler bars in there.
Oh.
And he doesn't just do like I'm The Rock, I'm Stone Cold. He does like deep cuts. Like he does. He did like a whole Harlem Heat reference. He's done Ultimate Warrior references. He's done all kinds of references. He does them really, really well. So if you're a fan of wrestling and you're a fan of rap, Clip Monster, he's really good.
Check him out.
Yeah, he has a song called TLC, and the TLC is a double entendre because he's talking about TLC. That's tables, ladders, and chairs. If you don't get it, don't care.
Right.
But then he'll also say TLC. That's Left Eye and Chili and T-Boz. The band, like the girl group TLC.
Right.
I don't know if you remember them or not. They did that song Waterfalls.
I remember. I think one of them died, didn't they?
Yeah, Left Eye.
Yeah, I thought that one of them had died.
Yeah, she died. But yeah, so that's why that's a double because he's referencing TLC the band and TLC from wrestling, and he's
one of them. One of them, I think, was a judge on Britain's Got Talent. I'm trying to remember. Was it Britain's Got Talent or no? It was the X Factor. She was a judge for X Factor.
Which one was it?
Kelly. Oh shoot.
Kelly Rowland?
Maybe that's who it is. Yeah, Kelly Rowland.
She was in Destiny's Child.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm thinking about.
She was in Destiny's Child, man. Not the. Come on, man. Get your music right. Get your. Come on, man. I also have a little bit of Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I saw Killswitch Engage. Maybe I did. Where did it go? If I saw it. Oh, Switchfoot. That's what I have. One more question. I don't know if you follow rap beefs or not, but if you do, I'll ask who was your favorite rap beef?
Well, it would probably have to be East Coast, West Coast. It'd have to be Tupac and Biggie.
That was a good one, but for me, I would have to say Eazy-E and Ice Cube.
Yeah.
Or NWA and Ice Cube.
But you know, that feud wasn't as public as Tupac's was.
No, but the diss tracks are really good. Well, I should say Ice Cube's diss track towards NWA was really good. He did a song called No Vaseline, where he dissed every single member of NWA plus the manager Jerry Heller. And I think they tried to sue him over that shit.
Wow.
Or the manager wanted to sue him over it, and Eazy-E and the boys were like, "Nah, man, that's not how we handle things.
Right.
That's not how we handle things as gangsters. We gotta go fuck them up." So,
right.
if you want to get a good feel of what that feud was, go watch Straight Outta Compton, the movie. That was
I'll do it.
What?
I said I'll do that.
Yeah, that's a fan. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard of Straight Outta Compton, the movie.
Yeah, I sure have. Yeah,
okay.
I sure have.
I saw that movie in the theaters twice, and it's a really, really good film. Sounds like you're out of time here.
No, I was just turning my car off.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I absolutely adored that movie. It was fantastic, and give you a real sense of what that band was going through, or what that group was going through.
Right.
So, any other topics?
Not that I can think of, no.
All right. Well,
I think we've covered quite a bit.
Yeah, man. Wrestling and music.
You got it.
I think I'm going to do some reactions to some trailers for these.
Sure.
Because there's some movies coming out. Spider-Man. What else was there?
Now I have to give you a good one. Do you like Disney and Pixar, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Okay, do you know the whole story behind Buzz Lightyear? They're doing a movie called Lightyear, and it's not.
So we're going to do like an origin story for Buzz?
Okay, it's not. It's Buzz is a real person in this show. It's called Lightyear and the Space Rangers. It is cool as hell if you see the trailer. Because it's going to be out in February of next year. Pixar did it. Disney Pixar.
Is it animated or is it live action?
It's animated, but he's not the toy. He's an actual Space Ranger with the outfit and everything.
Okay.
Chris Evans that played Captain America plays him.
Really?
Yeah, so they actually put a storyline and they created the real character from the toy from the show. I think it's cool. The trailer looked fantastic. I was like, man.
Wow, I'll have to look at that one.
Yeah, it looks really good. I'll send it to you. I'll forward it to you because it was just released at some comic convention this week.
Okay. Yeah, I follow Disney a lot. I have Disney Plus, as a matter of fact. So
Mm-hmm.
I have all kinds of streaming stuff on that I use.
Me too.
I have pretty much all of it. I got Peacock. I got HBO Max. I have
Right.
Netflix. I got Paramount Plus. So I never run out of things to watch on.
That's me neither. I'm always
Yeah.
I'm either reading or I'm watching something. One of the two.
Yeah. Um, yeah. Actually, if I seem a little distracted, it's because I was sort of watching my TV on silent. I was watching Chicago Fire.
Oh, there you go.
And they actually just had a main character leave last week.
Right. My wife and them watched that.
Yeah, they had Matthew Casey. After 10 years and 200 episodes, he decided last week he's going to step away, but he wants to come back in like 3 years. So we'll see where everything is at that point. But
he's made enough money where he can go spend some time with his family.
Yeah, well, and he's been acting for 18 years.
Wow.
He went from he was on that show House.
Right.
And then he went from House straight to Chicago Fire. And so I think he's burnt out a bit. He needs a break. And I understand that. So, he's going to go home to Australia and deal with some family stuff. And he'll be back in 3 years.
Oh, fantastic.
Plus, I think he'll make some on again, off again appearances. I hope so, anyway.
Right.
So, anyway, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Seibelmania Friends podcast. I am Seibelmania, and this was my friend, Double J, Jonathan Jones. Jonathan, thanks for doing this for me, man.
Absolutely, bud. I appreciate it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, like I said at the beginning of the video, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And if you don't, Jonathan, tell them what'll happen.
Stink face is coming.
Stink face is coming. So you better subscribe. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we're out.
All right,
Deuces.
bye-bye.
Later, man.